A man was given a share of his father's wealth, and he went on to waste them in riotous living till he spent everything and becomes bankrupt. The wealth he received was more than his capacity, so he got overwhelmed by it, and this made him live a wasteful life. The wealth he couldn't manage, his father had been able to manage a double of it and continued to multiply it without being overwhelmed by it or going bankrupt, but his son couldn't. What's the difference between the son who diminished his wealth and the father who keeps multiplying his? The difference is capacity. Capacity is the reason why some people can never grow more than a financial level all their life. Capacity is the reason why you may never have more than a certain amount of money. Capacity is the reason why a person can get sudden luck into huge amounts of money, become famous, and in a few years' time went into obscurity because such a person hasn't built the capacity to handle such fame or wealth. If you get more than you could handle, you'll be overwhelmed by it, and the money in itself may destroy you. Capacity is the difference between being poor and being wealthy. Now, what is capacity? Capacity in our context is the ability to handle a huge chunk of wealth without diminishing it, and the ability to multiply it through careful financial planning. To some people, 10 million is too much, and to others, it is seed money. If you get lost on what to positively do with a check of 10 million, then your capacity is low. But if you are already mentally prepared for what to do with that money, then your capacity is more developed. Everyone has a threshold, but make sure yours is not on the low side. There's a story of some leprous men who walked into a national treasury of another nation, and they got overwhelmed by the wealth they saw. They had been used to getting peanuts and small change. Now before them is a huge chunk of wealth. They didn't know what to do with the wealth. They had to surrender it to another. Any wealth you are not mentally prepared for will overwhelm you when it comes to you. I repeat, any wealth you are not mentally prepared for will overwhelm you when it comes to you. There's so much money in this world. Jeff Bezos is so wealthy that if you are given $180,000 every day for 2,000 years, you wouldn't still be close to how wealthy he is. 5% of the wealthiest men in the US can feed, build houses, and buy cars for the entire people living in the world for the next 500 years. There's so much wealth in this world, but it flows to us in accordance to our capacity to handle it. If you have a zero capacity, you have zero income. If you have a low capacity, you have low income. And when you have a high capacity, you have great income. This is why big companies change their CEOs when they hit a new height, because a company cannot outgrow the capacity of its CEO. There are no little businesses, but only little people. Little people are the reason why certain businesses are little business. A business is as valuable as the one handling it. If you want to make the works of your hand better, improve on your capacity by improving on yourself. No business is too small to make someone financially great. Great people make little business great. I once read a story of a graduate that applied to wash cars for a hotel despite the fact that the hotel offered him a more supposed honorable position, but he chose to be the car washer. Why? Because the daily tips he gets from washing the cars was 3 times his official pay, and with the contacts he was gathering, soon he began his own car wash, and getting clients wasn't hard. After some years, the hotel was almost bankrupt, and he bought shares from the hotel and became a major shareholder. His manager then became a member of his staff. The business in your hands doesn't matter. What matters is you. The big question now is, how do you improve your capacity? To do that, I will share with you 7 formulas that will help you to improve your capacity. 1. Look beyond the present. Before making any decisions, consider the future and plan many years ahead, and let that reflect on the decisions and plans you are making today. If you buy tomorrow today, it will be costlier than buying tomorrow 3 years back. In other words, when you want something when the need is high, that thing will be costly. But when you go for it when others have no need for it, it will be free or cheap. In a nutshell, if you plan 10 years ahead, you are likely to be the leader in 10 years' time. If you don't plan, those who did will overtake you. 2. Study the life of those with great capacities. Know about people who are handling great businesses and are doing exceedingly well in handling great businesses. You must enter the mind of those with great capacity and reorient your mind to think as they do. See things from their perspective. There was a popular question that went viral. It was asked, what will you go for? 10 million in your country currency or 1 hour business meeting with the wealthiest man in your country? Unfortunately, many chose 10 million. But here's the thing. People with great capacity will be willing to pay the 10 million to host the wealthiest man in their country for 30 minutes. Poverty is just an expression of low capacity. There's this saying, it's not enough to be in the right place at the right time. You have to be the right person in the right place at the right time. 3. Upgrade your financial mindset. If you come into big money when you're not ready for it on the inside, the chances are your wealth will be short-lived and you will lose it. The vast majority of people simply do not have the internal capacity to create and hold on to large amounts of money and the increased challenges that go with more money and success. A perfect example is lottery winners. Research has shown again and again that regardless of the size of their winnings, most lottery winners eventually return to their original financial state, the amount they can comfortably handle, because their capacity has not improved to handle such chunk of money. On the other hand, the opposite occurs for self-made millionaires. Notice that when self-made millionaires lose their money, they usually have it back within a relatively short time. Why? Because they have already built the capacity to create such wealth again and again. Donald Trump is a good example. Trump was worth billions, lost everything, and then a couple of years later got it all back again and even more. That's because Trump's financial capacity is set for billions, not millions. Most people's financial capacity are set for generating thousands, not millions. Some people's financial capacity are set to generating hundreds, not even thousands, and some financial capacities is set far below zero. You need to upgrade your financial mindset by increasing your capacity, and increasing your capacity starts from your mind. Every result you currently have has its root cause. The root cause creates the fruits. Imagine a tree. Let's suppose this tree represents the tree of life. On this tree, there are fruits. In life, our fruits are called our results. So we look at the fruits, and that's our results, and we don't like them. There aren't enough of them. They are too small, or they don't taste good. So what do? Most of us put even more attention and focus on the fruits. That's our result. But what is it that actually creates those particular fruits? It's the seeds and the roots that create those fruits. It's what's under the ground that creates what's above the ground. It's what's invisible that creates what's visible. So what does that mean? It means that if you want to change the fruits, you first have to change the roots. If you want to change the visible, you must first change the invisible. That's the starting point, the invincible, and that is your mind. Money is a result. Wealth is a result. Health is a result. Illness is a result. Your weight is a result. We live in a world of cause and effect. It is what happens inside of you, the cause, that brings about the result you see in the physical, and that's the effect. Have you ever heard someone assert that lack of money was a bit of a problem? Now hear this, lack of money is never ever a problem. A lack of money is merely a symptom of what is going on underneath. Lack of money is the effect. But what is the root cause? It boils down to this. The only way to change your outer world is to first change your inner world. Whatever results you are getting, be they rich or poor, good or bad, positive or negative, always remember that your outer world is simply a reflection of your inner world. If things aren't going well in your outer life, it's because things aren't going well in your inner life. It's that simple. Change your inner life and you'll get a different result. 4. Have a nothing is impossible mentality. Have that mentality in whatever you do. Consciously keep telling yourself that nothing is impossible till you believe it unconsciously. If you don't believe you can exceed your threshold, you wouldn't be able to exceed it. If I ask you to write an amount of money you want to have, how much would you write? What I want you to say is, consciously tell yourself you can earn an amount that will surprise you till you will no longer be surprised by such amounts. Be ready to sacrifice immediate small pleasures for greater pleasure. If you want to earn high, be ready to make huge sacrifices that will discipline you for your future. If you want to build a great business, we shouldn't be seeing you buying costly liabilities like cars or traveling for holidays and renting costly apartments, especially during the early starts of the business, when you sure know that you need all the money to fully invest into your business to develop it. Subscribe to delayed gratification. Going for dresses that are not necessarily a need is a symptom of low capacity. The wealthiest men use the simplest of things. Men of gold don't wear gold is a popular maxim. Dressing to intimidate others or buying things you don't need just to impress people is a poverty mentality. 5. Surround yourself with a team of believers. If you want to move further in life, identify with people heading towards your direction, thinking as big as you are thinking, and work with them. Be brutal in choosing your close allies. If someone speaks down on your dreams, cast them off. 6. Be ready to fail big. If you have a big capacity, it means your success or failure will always be big. It can only mean that the financial losses will be equally big. Therefore, be ready to fail, as that is also part of the learning process till you grow thick-skinned towards rejection and failure. You rather see them as a stepping stone to improve, do better, and be better. It's riskier to fall from the plan, and it's greater to fly on the plan. When the glory is high, the risk is high. Failure is the master key to success. You're not a failure in life because something is wrong with you. You are failing because failure is the name of the road that leads to success. If you can't enjoy several failures, you can't enjoy success. Wealth is for the courageous. 7. Never relent. The gestation period for rats is weeks, and that of elephants is years. This calls for persistence. If you want to deliver big, don't expect your business plan to work out immediately. Don't expect to get all the resources you need instantly, or the skills or the know-how you need within a short period. Failure is not real. It is a call to sharpen something in our life's skills, how we relate with clients, our location, a need to further in our studies, etc. Failure happens to everyone. Success happens to everyone. If you are climbing a mountain today, it means you go downhill tomorrow. Go keep daring till you hit and then set another target, hit another target, and hit non-stop till you get to that which you desire. To round it up, increase your capacity by improving your skills. Be professional in your delivery. Expand yourself to others. Pursue a solution first, and money will follow. Selah. If you got value from this episode, kindly hit the like button, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for listening. My name is Benzik, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers.